Hello and welcome to ExQueerience Points. I am your GM, Kenny. My pronouns are he, they, and with me today is this fabulous, amazing cast. Hello, Kelric.
Hello, I am Kelric. I am Scruffy today. My pronouns are he, him, and I play Thrani Ecos, our Witchwarper Patra ace pilot. I think I got everything in there.
I think you did. Thanks,
I
Kel.
always miss one thing, so...
Hi, Steph.
Hi. Excuse me. I'm Steph. I will be playing Navu Paleblade, our Goran Solarian scholar. My pronouns are she, her, and Navu's are she, they.
Awesome. Thanks, Steph. Hi, Mackenzie.
Hi. I'm Mackenzie. I play Dr. Joe, or Josephine. She goes by Joe Pepper. And she is a... well, now I'm going to forget. I'm an envoy icon. And her pronouns are she, her, and so are mine.
Fantastic. So yeah, we've been kind of on the afterglow of our first AP. For some technical difficulties, we had some more chat shows, and a side quest here and there. And this episode is going to be another side quest because we do not have a full crew complement. All right. You all are on the aboard the GD Hoop. We'll kind of zoom in on Ronnie. He is in the crew quarters, and he has his Harrow deck out. Why don't you kind of describe what that looks like?
So I imagine it having sort of this silver and blue sort of geometric design on the back of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like more of a sort of gaunt elvish look for my tarot decks. It's just one of those things I'm like, I want it to look a little less like, I don't want it to be all these human sort of figures. I want it to have something that makes it a little more magical, fantastical.
Yeah, you have, I imagine the images are of elves from Old Galorian, and some of them are dark-skinned elves, some of them are light-skinned, some of them are brown. There are lots of different and various configurations and images within this Harrow deck. And as you are kind of drawing cards and trying to discern what sort of futures are out there or realities, describe what that looks like.
As Thrani is getting more skilled as a witch warper, I think that they're connecting more with some of these other realities, and so the Harrow deck is helping them to focus in on specific traits. So whatever card is drawn, Thrani can really sort of dive into the image, and that helps them sort through a bunch of realities and just sort of swipe them off to the side, and it limits their vision, so it's a lot easier to pick out something that is helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And the deck has a special property that allows Thrani to cast the spell Augury once per day. I think when Thrani figures that out and uses it the first time, it allows them to connect really strongly with one specific reality that they're in, and go with that future much easier.
I imagine that like your Witch Warper ability, like instead of like in the past where it was just these chaotic shadows kind of whisking away from you and threads and different things, that instead while you're sitting there and you're actually meditating and looking at the images on the deck, you're like sitting in the middle of a bloom of a flower, and as you are kind of through each reality and potential, a petal kind of opens up and the flower begins to bloom a little bit more, and each petal is this kind of reality, and so it's a little bit
beautiful,
more organic, and while still chaotic, it's controlled and predictable. In this one instance, a petal kind of peels away and it catches your attention, and you see yourself sitting in the GD Hoopty, much like you are sitting there now.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do?
Well, I mean, if it's just the same reality, it looks like if you're doing the whole multiverse thing and the realities are slivers of multiverse, this is like one that's only 1 or 2 off from where we are. So I would probably watch to see how things are going there. I'd see if there's a way, I don't know if Thrani's vision is Thrani specific, or if it let them sort of scan that entire universe so that they can see what else is going on. Can Thrani see throughout the entire ship, or can they just see Thrani in, sort of looking through your familiar's eyes, only looking through other Thrani's eyes?
I don't know. So what I imagine is that when you're looking into another reality, you see yourself in that reality, and then your perception shifts into the position of that other Thrani. So imagine you're sitting in the middle of this flower looking at the petal. You're looking at yourself, and then kind of the world shifts and you're in that petal, and you're looking at yourself sitting in the center, and then everything recenters. But as that happens, cool. What is Navu doing? Where are they in the ship?
No.
That's fine.
I was so busy listening that I wasn't thinking about myself.
No problem. Sorry.
I was popping the lenses out of my Dr. Pepper glasses, listening and ready to go.
I'm a real doctor.
I'm a real doctor. I have lenses in these glasses.
I love the idea of, instead of pushing on the nose bridge, you just push through them.
She scratches her eye like that.
It's so beautiful.
Twitch. The person with actual glasses.
Yeah, if I touch my glasses, I have to take them off and clean them immediately. I'm like, oh!
It's really funny to do. It's
It is not funny to do. Don't do that to someone with glasses.
It's not funny, no.
I wear glasses. It's funny.
Some of us don't wear glasses to see without smudges, okay?
So we shift into a reality where people wear glasses and respect other people with glasses.
Right?
Where is Navu in that reality?
I mean, Navu's probably on their bunk scrolling through research from other places in the galaxy, because they're boring like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, reading research is a valid thing, and I imagine it's on a topic that you've either recently written about and you're trying to find the argumentation from another perspective, or it's something that you want to create an argument about or a discovery on.
Yeah, it's probably something to do with black holes and using them as emergency bungee cables.
Yeah. As a tether to kind of make sure that your navigation coordinates are correct.
Mm-hmm. And also, decelerating in emergency evacuation situations.
Awesome. Okay. So as you're sitting there reading, you notice Thrani, who's sitting in the middle of the crew quarters with his hero deck, and he, as per usual, looks a little zoned out. But you do see, kind of emanating from him, the silhouette of these petals kind of unfolding. And you notice him kind of touch one, and the room seems to shift a bit. And then we'll focus on Dr. Jo Pepper. Where is she?
She's sitting somewhere comfortable. She does love the bathroom because it's clean. But she's looking at her editor just sent her their edits for her latest book.
Mm-hmm.
And she's looking at them and just going, stupid. Stupid. Really? No. She's just disregarding all of the edits her editor is sending her, and she's angrily writing notes back to the editor in the book.
Well, I imagine
it's probably a digital kind of, yeah,
oh no, your editor is old school. They have
I got a manuscript.
redlined. They printed it out on archaic paper and redlined things in an ink, and by hand did this.
Yes.
And in the margin there's like one comment, realistic, question mark, exclamation point.
They're probably like two normal people, good edits. Joe, her pride is too much. She is literally like, absolutely not. This is my vision. So to normal people, they would be probably realistic and normal edits, but she does not believe an opinion is better than hers. So she is just like going through them and being like, this is stupid. Maybe an occasional one being like, yes, I did misuse an M dash there, absolutely. But like you know, like there's like maybe one she'll give the editor, but she's going through edits for her new book.
And this is the kind of editor that actually circles all the semicolons because they don't think it's valid.
Joe loves the semicolon.
You're killing me, Kenny.
A well-placed semicolon is like a nice, warm hot cocoa.
Exactly. So that's what Joe's doing. Pushing up her glasses and scratching, through her lenses. The usual.
Yes. So as you're looking at your manuscript and kind of scoffing at the comments, I imagine, so you're not in the lavatory doing this. You'd probably be... like,
I'll be on the couch, right? Don't we have a couch?
Yes, you have the emergency
Safety
couch.
couch.
The safety couch.
Safety.
Yes,
Yes.
I'll be on the safety couch,
The safety couch is in the
scoffing
bridge. Yep.
at my editor.
Perfect. So while you're up there...
What a piece of shit.
you turn the page on your manuscript. The text blinks and changes. Instead of your well-thought-out arguments on the interspecies drama between anacytes and SROs...
Someone's gonna talk about it. If it's not
somebody
me.
does, yes.
I don't know who it is.
And
that's my lead-in into interspecies relationships, which I have a lot of experience with.
Well, the text begins reading like a tawdry romance novel.
I like this.
You start reading it, and it is very much your style and your writing style.
And Joe's immediate reaction is, God, I'm good.
Your main character is a non-binary a Branthu, and they are in a torrid love triangle with a contemplative and a Kasathan.
Oh. Gosh, I'm amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think she notices it's changed. She's just like, wow, I forgot how good this book is.
And so as you're doing that, the whole kind of feeling of the ship changes on the GD Hoop. So let's go back to Thrani, who is in the middle of meditating. You see the reality you shifted into, and everyone is doing somewhat similar things as to what they would be doing. And then you hear lights start flashing. They poke in through the ceiling portholes, little things open up. And you didn't even know that the GD Hoopty had these. A klaxon siren starts going, and another alarm starts chirping. And you a Ahol's voice come over a loudspeaker. Crew of the GD Hoopty, we have hit a fatal error. Please proceed to the nearest escape pods. Again, we have hit a fatal error. Everyone will die if you do not go to the escape pods.
So I really think that for all of the issues our crew has, getting to the escape pods is not something we have let slide. Like, we know where that is because it is spacefaring. We're not stupid. So I think we would all just automatically head towards the escape pod. Like, the whole crew would know, okay, escape pods are here.
I'm a tiny bit stupid, but don't tell anybody. I'm a doctor.
So yeah, you get up, roll perception check.
Sure, I can do that.
Why not?
Perceive all the things.
Oh yeah, there's my first one.
Oh, I got a 2, baby.
Woo! High
What do I
five.
see with my 17?
All right, so I'll start with the lower rolls first.
I'm 2 in my book. I'm just so talented. I can't look away from my own talent.
Thorani, I think you are totally...
I'm like feeling the wall as I read. I'm like trying to find where it is.
I think, Thorani, you are totally engrossed in this new reality, and you are accepting it as it is. You're like, okay, this is the reality where the GD Hoopty might blow up.
Yeah.
Dr. Joe, yes, absolutely. You are enraptured by your own creative genius. And
I can't believe I wrote something that's dirty. Wow.
Oh, I think you can believe it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's 1, 2, 3 tentacles. What?
Whoa.
Yeah, so
Reminds me of college.
Or last week. Who
when
knows
I got
what's
my when I got my theater degree and not my doctor degree. Dr. Joe definitely has like a acting degree and not an actual doctorate.
Canon.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
She went to a liberal arts school and is a fucking idiot.
Yep, so you are making your way down the single hallway towards the escape pods. And Navu, you get up, you're out of your bunk, and you're looking around, and nothing other than the klaxons and the sirens and the chirping, nothing really seems out of ordinary to you. You didn't hear any explosions. As soon as you pause to do this, however, A-hole comes on. Navu, you are not making your way to the escape pods. Please rethink this action.
Can you be more specific on what the issue is?
As soon as you say this, a cloud starts venting from the overhead area into the main hallway. It is dire. You need to head to the escape pods.
I'm torn between being the stubborn science person of just like, okay, that could be condensed water.
Prove it, a-hole. Prove it.
Yeah, or it's just like a fatal error. There's no alert that would ever say just fatal error. Like, what kind of error? This feels like a whacked out fire drill.
Yeah, we're on the
shot?
Oregon Trail.
The ship has tuberculosis. Get off!
No, the
It's
ship
the
has
consumption.
dysentery.
That's it. You all drown in a river. We're done.
Thanks for joining us for the stream today. It was
Yeah.
it was great.
Thank you for joining us on ExQueerience Points. My name is Kenneth.
Where we
As we
play
failed.
Starfinder wrong.
Yes. As we fail fording a river in Starfinder. I just.
Yeah, I like to think that Dr. Joe Pepper and Thrani are both like, we have trained, this is what we do. And then we just sort of just go. And it's like, but JP has the book and she's like, fucking edits. But you're just walking toward, the two of us are just heading off. The only person smart enough to ask a question, Navu.
The two of you are on the escape pod being like, what the fuck? Can I run a quick scan? Like,
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
all right, physical science or computers or
Computers.
Yes. How about a 23?
So you get to the computer console and you go in and you check the engineering statuses and the different mechanical statuses of the ship, and everything seems to be functioning normally. But as you're there, you hear a kind of an explosion happen. Yep. An explosion happens up near the bridge. There is now a lot of heat coming from that side of you. So I imagine that would be like towards your left side.
Mm.
There is some smoke beginning to fill into the cabin area, along with the steam. Navu, it is important and imperative that you make it to the escape pods.
Looking at my untrained engineering. Fine. Steph will stop being stubborn. Nevu does kind of look towards the cockpit and then goes towards the escape pod.
Okay, perfect. So the configuration of the escape pods that you remember is that it's its own contained room. You go into it, you have all of your flight suits and survival gear in there, and then there are separate individual pods that you can go into. As soon as all three of you make it into the hallway room where you get prepared to go into each of the escape pods, the lights flick on and the doors close behind you and seal. And then the lights come on and the alarms stop. And when you're in there, do some perception checks.
Woo, 12. Hey. Right in the 3.
16.
I didn't land in the thing.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
I missed it. I don't know. Oh, that's
There
Oh
we go.
hey!
Nice.
Oh.
Instead of the escape pod doorways that you see, the room is much, much larger. And the door that closed behind you and sealed isn't the normal airlock that you see. In fact, this doesn't look like the escape pod's area at all. In it, you see a bookshelf filled with bric-a-brac and knickknacks. There is a table with a bunch of papers shuffled around. There's some science equipment on the side. It looks kind of like a storage room in a lot of ways, but it's definitely not an escape room or a safety room. You turn around and you look at the port door that closed, and it looks like an old-fashioned wooden dungeon door, and it has 5 locks on it.
5 locks, you say?
5 locks.
Are they like old key locks?
Yeah, they're old key locks.
Goody.
One of them is pink, one of them is clear, one of them is green, one of them is blue, and the last one is black.
I cast Charming Veneer on myself. And everyone else. That's what I've got. You all take care of the locks.
Thrani, what did you do?
I'm holding the hero deck. Nothing. And I just slowly put it away.
Do we have keys? I never got the keys to the ship when I moved in. I don't know.
We didn't have keys. Perhaps we do now.
Yeah, are they like padlocks or are they like door locks? What are we talking here?
They're padlocks.
Padlocks. Sure, I'll just go up and try and pull one, see if it's just open. Who knows? Let's start with the simplest test first. Have you turned it off and back on again?
So you grab onto one of the locks.
The pink one.
The pink one, perfect. Do a will saving throw for me.
Sure.
Oh.
9. That'll do.
So you wrap your hand around the lock to tug on it, and as soon as you do, there's an explosion of colors and sparkles and various...
Oh, I've taken this before.
The room grows brighter. You hear the distant thumping of a music. No, but yeah.
It'd be amazing. Let's all go to a party.
You are now fascinated. You are staring at this lock, and you're looking at it as if it will grant you the answers to the universe.
Oh, I love this lock.
So you have the fascinated condition right now. You can take no other actions than to pay attention to the fascinating effect for as long as the effect lasts.
Okay. Sure. I will keep fiddling with this lock because I'm totally... I want it off the door and in my hands.
So, Navu and Joe, what you see is you see Thrani grab this lock, and then he's just sitting there holding it and inspecting it and like looking through the keyhole a little bit and just staring at it as if it's talking to him. And he's like he was talking, like, okay, sure, let me just check this out. And then he stops, and he's just there for an uncomfortably long amount of time.
Buddy, I'm gonna go, like, poke him on the back. You good? You good there, buddy? Hi. I'm a doctor. Do you need anything?
Cal, go ahead and throw another will save.
Me?
Okay.
No, Cal.
I was like,
No.
Touch me and you're contaminated.
It's
It's
just
over.
like it's just like a domino effect of us being like
17.
All right, you feel the tapping on your shoulder, and you're able to divert your attention away from the lock.
Huh? What?
You okay?
Yeah, like that's the fastest recovery I've ever had from that one. Whoa. Touch this lock.
Okay. I touch it.
All right, do a will save.
Dr. Joe
Well,
believes.
What the viewers just saw me do is exactly what Navu would have done. Starting to reach out to stop them, and then when the action's already done, just kind of disappointedly putting their hand down.
All right, Dr. Joe Pepper is now fascinated by this lock.
In
Will you help her, Ronnie?
I push. I want to just push Dr. Pepper away from the lock.
Okay, so
There we go.
yeah, taking the action to move her away from the lock, it breaks the fascination.
Hey. I was looking at that.
Navu made me.
Navu, touch this. It's pretty cool.
I don't know how pedantic you believe me to be, but I'm not that foolhardy. A mysticism check? Navu is really looking at this door and assuming magic things are happening.
I too would like to do a mysticism check, if I may.
21.
Nice.
All right, looking on the mysticism, like through that lens, while you do see different effects happening, they are not mystical in nature.
Well, I think what Abelek tells us to do makes the most sense. And so, yeah, start smashing all the things. Where's the pot? Let's break it. Let's Zelda this room. Perfect.
Okay, so you look around the room. The first thing you notice is the kind of the science equipment that's in a cabinet on the wall. And there's a set of note cards next to all of the equipment. There's some flasks and beakers and several vials with various colored fluids.
What an interesting collection of vintage equipment. Positively ancient.
Did the colors in the vials match the colors on the locks?
No, they do not.
If we
Do I know enough
make
about
them.
color? Do I know about color theory enough to be like,
I don't know.
don't-
Roll
I don't know
for
that
color
you can
theory.
I don't know that you can make clear.
just like spit into a bottle and make it clear? Disobedience, the Starfinder game.
Right?
It was a niche gay reference for everyone out there.
What was the int check for, Cal?
Oh, color theory.
No.
Is there anything that looks out of place? Like Navu would know what like old school science equipment looks like, but anything that like doesn't fit the theme, for lack of a better way of putting it.
Not really. I mean, you don't see much in the way of handwritten notes. Almost
Other
everything.
than the note cards?
Well, no. In your general workflow, you normally see digital notes and things taken on tablets. These are handwritten notes, and that stands out to you.
Is it my handwriting?
It is not.
Okay. Do they say anything
Is
interesting?
handwriting?
Yeah. So you pick up, and the first note card says, "Away from the ship, family adventurers trek, never calling me." You shipped cards?
Mm-hmm.
The next card is written in 3 different colors of ink. The first line says, "Form chemical bonds." The second line says, "In the flask they all should go." The last line says, "Please do not explode."
And the last card.
The last card just has a picture of a flask on it and all of the different color vials. The ink colors used in the second card, the first line was in blue, the second line was in red, and the last line was in yellow.
Does not match the door.
I cannot hold these colors in my head. I need to be able to read this instead of hearing it. 'Cause I'm like, what?
Can you give us the colors on the door? I remember there's pink, green, black, and clear.
So the locks are pink, clear, green, blue, and black.
Okay, Abelek's already written that down, so apparently.
Okay, yeah, because I was like, I've already forgotten that, so I need to.
I'm going to do this in the chat in Fantasy Ground, so it's written somewhere.
Cool.
I am
Thank
so
you.
bad at auditory learning. I'm like, what do I do? I like that it looks like a little goblin's yelling it at us.
Pink, clear, green.
That's my goblin voice for us. My goblin voice is, I don't know, like an angry Italian.
Black, blue.
Navu is going. This is Navu being impulsive.
Ooh.
I love
Ew.
impulsive Nabu.
Since there are different vials, different colors, and it says to mix them together. Before I do that, though, because they would check this, are the individual vials labeled? They are.
They are not. The vials themselves are closed stopped with a dram in them.
Mm-hmm.
And they each are clear and have a very distinctly colored liquid.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Is this something a physical science check could help us with? Because I have physical science now.
Yeah.
Ooh, nat 20 on physical.
Wow.
What?
Oh.
26. That's what I got.
That's so amazing.
Yeah, looking at these vials, they all have different kinds of properties, but you're not able to link them to anything that you know in science. And you definitely know that some, they all have catalytic and some sort of explosive property to them, if they aren't properly handled.
Okay.
Okay.
Dr. Joe picks one up and starts looking at it and probably makes you nervous because she's like,
Be careful with that. Please.
is it gonna do something?
It may.
Oh. Can I smell one of them?
No.
As I'm pulling the thing up.
If you open it and you smell a what color
Please
did you
don't say.
open?
What were the colors?
You have
is it-
there were several of them. So there is there's actually a whole color, the Roji Biv.
okay.
Oh, woof.
I'll smell red because I like red. Color of my hair, I like a maroon mostly. But
What does red smell like to you?
kind of like spicy.
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah, cool. So it's kind of like a cinnamon,
Oh yeah.
a cinnamon clove nutmeggy smell.
Oh, this smells like my cologne. I love this. It doesn't smell like me, and I hold it out.
I hate that. I hate that Nabu's about to do this.
It smells like me.
They're going to smell it and see if it smells the same to them.
Yeah, it does. It smells exactly the same.
Curious.
I imagine.
I'll pop the thing back down.
I imagine that Navu's kind of reading it out loud again and reading the different things. Dr. Joe, roll me a culture check.
Oh, that's what I'm good at, kind of.
Kind of.
And you get a +1 for that, I think.
Oh, that's
Oh,
bad anyway. So 14. No, it's intelligence based, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So actually,
Okay.
that's not bad.
Oh.
There's something about the rhythm in which the words go that make you think that it's done as a haiku.
I was just thinking.
Oh, and Joe puts her hand on her forehead. She goes, "So, I went through a phase in college.
Don't worry, everybody did.
I was really, really into poetry. I think this is a
Oh.
poem.
Oh,
Do you see it now?
interesting. But not.
I don't know what that
very
means.
helpful.
I just noticed it. I have my old book. I'll have to show you some of my old pieces.
Whenever we
Stop
manage,
publishing it one day.
whenever we return to our dimension,
What
Well-
were the words again? What was the haiku again?
Form the
Form-
chemical bond. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
sorry, I was reading it from the chat. Form the
Oh,
chemical bonds.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
In the flask they all should go. Please do not explode.
And
In the flask. Is there a singular flask sitting around?
there is, in the same cabinet, there is a larger flask filled with a clear liquid.
Yeah, I wonder if we should like put the colors in the order they are, like in the locks, maybe. Just in terms of like making the colors, maybe like. Does that make sense? Like, I wonder if each color of the lock leads to the next, depending on what we put in it. Because the locks are pink, so theoretically, if we put like a red in and a white,
the
then it goes to clear again.
yeah the locks are colored pink, clear, green, blue, and black.
Yeah, I'm looking at that now. I realized clear was second.
Yeah. Again, the inks on the card that have the second haiku, the first line is in blue, the second line is in red, and the third line is in yellow.
Okay.
So, like,
Navu
primary
is
colors.
Yeah, sounds like going to grab the flask as well as the vials, and they're going to pour the colors in the order that the colors are on the haiku.
Okay. You and describe how you're doing that.
Is there a pipette or several?
Each one has its own dram dropper in the top.
Perfect. Yeah, so that's what they're going to do is pull a few drops into the dropper and put a drop into the flask, return it, and then continue on until all three are there.
Okay, so you put a drop of each into the flask. A cursory puff of smoke kind of blasts out of the flask, and then you hear like an alarm sound,
Oh no.
and then the room kind of resets itself. All the flasks are back on the wall, the cards disappear from your hands and go next to where they were where you found them.
So is this a reset? Like if we mess up, we just do this?
It appears so.
Well, that's nice to know.
It is. This is very curious.
You said the post-it or the notes have the same, each line has a different color. They're blue, red, and yellow.
Yep.
Well, I think Abe has the best idea so far.
That's true. I love having my old friend from college is texting me.
Yeah. Like,
Their name's Abe. I don't know if you want to see what they have to say. Here you go. I like, oh my God. I was texting. I'm so sorry. We're not supposed to. I get great service out here.
you get great service everywhere. Let's be real.
Pay extra for it. I gotta be able to text all
Always.
my ladies all the time.
For our listeners, Abe had suggested in chat of doing a drop per syllable of each color, which, thanks to Mackenzie creatively weaving that in.
I don't know. That was me being an idiot and doing a bit. It doesn't have to be how he.
It's a good bit. It's a good bit.
good bit.
Love it. Love it.
We roll with the bits. I'm not good at them. And Navu's gonna try it.
So,
I'm like phoning a friend on Do You Want to Be a Millionaire?
Right?
Dr. Joe's like, I got this. I hooked up with someone once that knew the answer.
They're crowdsourcing in chat.
I like to think that you
should be
have
a
a thing
home-
for scientists, and so
Yeah,
everyone
for
all of
sure.
them are like totally. They all have real doctorates, and so you're like, that's the one for me.
Yeah, my degree is like one particularly like bad ex that I just like took their doctorate and like whited it out and took. That's how I became a doctor. You scrape off Dr. Joe Pepper. It says like Dr. I don't know. My brain said Dr. Mary Shelley, and I don't know. Definitely the woman who wrote Frankenstein. So I don't know why that's the first.
Hello.
I definitely dated. I dated the writer of Frankenstein. We had a particularly bad falling out. So
I don't know why, but because you've been talking about writing naughty stuff, I'm like, it was actually Dr. Spankenstein. I don't know.
Oh, baby.
Oh.
The
That's
silent
the
Patel.
Skinamax. That's their
Yes.
Skinamax pen name.
This is the HBO version of Frankenstein.
Now I love this ex. We gotta go meet my Dr. Mary Shelley.
This is the next side quest that we're gonna have.
She's the one that got away. I stole her degree and I left.
All right, so Navu,
Um,
you are pulling down the flask that has the clear liquid in it and the various colored drams with the droppers
Yes.
and everything. Yep. So you are doing what with them?
Hang on, sorry, I'm thinking about the fact of in there it says in the flask they all should go. So I'm hesitant to think that it's just these colors, but stupid Reggie Biv. I'm gonna try with following Abe's advice of 6 blue drops, 7 red, and 5 yellow.
Yeah, I'm gonna give that to you because I didn't quite proof the haiku well enough. So it should be 575. But yes, when you do add in the blue drops, the red drops, and the yellow drops, first comes out this magnificent odor. It smells like the best meal preparation you've ever smelled ever. So describe what that would be for you.
I immediately think of, like, I don't know if anybody else is gonna know the turn of phrase, red gravy.
Mm-mm.
It is an Italian red sauce, kind of one of those mother sauces, in my opinion, using pork neck bones.
Ooh.
And there's just a tiny bit of cinnamon in it and sugar, and you just let it simmer like all day until it falls to pieces. It's probably the best red sauce you'll ever have.
If you have a recipe that you don't mind sharing after the show.
Already Googling.
Awesome.
I'll help you out. Don't worry.
Yeah, and I imagine that Navu is doing this with the best technique that they can muster. They swirl the flask around as they drip in each of the different colors, making sure that they all kind of coalesce in the best way possible. And as the odor kind of permeates the room, in the bottom of the flask, a black key appears.
Well, I think we have our lead on how we find these keys.
Hey.
Is
You're
there
so
like
smart?
a tweezer of some kind that I can reach in and pull the key out with?
Nope.
Is there a sink I can pour it in?
Just gotta drink it.
No.
No.
What?
If you look around the room, there is a drain in the floor.
It'll work. I can't pick up a key with a pipette. Just imagining piping up the...
It's like 300 mils of liquid, so...
Yeah, exactly.
I love that we have another hologram telling us what to do. It's like, is that you, my conscience? Thank you, Abe.
I know I can't, Abe. We don't have any pipettes.
It's
I already
Jiminy
asked that
Abelek.
question. Yes. So yes, that's what Navu is going to do, is going to...
I can use psychokinetic hand to pull it out.
All right.
I'll do that. I have a
You totally forgot you had that spell.
There's a spell for that.
There is a spell for that. I don't have spells anymore. I missed them.
That's super cool. Yeah, I psychokinetic hand that key out. Yeah.
Perfect, yep. You cast Psychokinetic Hand. What does that look like?
Just a ghostly hand that sort of like, I'll reach out and it sort of extends, my hand just sort of extends further into like this ghostly looking thing that then it just manipulate my hand, whatever my hand does, it mimics.
Okay, perfect. Yep. And I imagine that this hand, the fingers kind of grasp the key, and luckily the key is small enough to fit out the neck of this flask. It kind of jingles along the side of it as you pull it out, and it floats in the air, in the grasp of the hand.
I look for a towel to dry it off.
No towels.
I just hold it. Just like shaking it a little. I'm like,
Like when you like shake your hands after the bathroom because you're like, they only have the air dry thing and it never works right. No.
So I was in a bathroom the other day reading, and like it says to like put your hands under there for like 20 seconds, and so I was just like, okay, and I did it, and my hands actually were dry after that. I'm like, huh, maybe I'm just impatient.
I started like rubbing my hands underneath it, and I feel like that helps, but I don't know if that actually does.
Supposedly, friction is supposed to help. I don't know.
There's definitely a part of me here that's just like, how can we not have towels? I mean,
yeah, we're in a lab. You don't even have paper towels.
I mean, it's
right.
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy has told all of us since growing up that a towel is necessary.
Always carry a towel.
A towel.
I can't imagine not have. I mean, is this a universe without that knowledge?
I think that we need to go on a shopping trip as a party and go buy towels. And I'm like, not engraved.
Home goods. We can go buy home goods.
Engraved. What's the word? Like monogrammed towels for all of us.
It's just a new part of the uniform. We're gonna have towels on our belts.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
So okay,
I watched it.
You are in this room that you didn't know you had, and you're looking for things that you think should be there.
Sorry to
We need
ruin
to
your
call
side quest.
Whoever the architect was of this project. I don't like him.
So we have one key.
Over.
What other stations are there to create keys if we look around?
So as you this key is kind of dangling in the air, dripping this brown fluid. A light turns off in front of the chemical cabinet, and it shimmers away. And in its place, there's another just blank shelf and a wall there. You still have the bookshelf with bric-a-brac, and there's some other containers and things in there.
Do you think we just need one key, though?
Yeah, I'll use my psychokinetic hand to put it in the black lock and see if it opens it.
Yep, you put the key in the black lock, and you turn it, and the lock pops open and disappears.
Key disappear as well.
Yes.
Oh, well. Should have started with the clear one.
And as soon as you do that, the overhead, an announcement comes on. Bravo! You solved the first riddle.
Joe leans to Navu and goes, does the a-hole doesn't have a body. Do they have hands? Because of the clapping. What's going? This is a nightmare. The AI has hands.
I believe they have access to sound files.
Oh. This is why you're the smart one, man. It caught me off guard. Now I'm back.
A-hole, what have you done?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
That is a lie, and I will throw you out into into the vacuum of space where you'll be destroyed. Try again.
I mean, you can try, but I'm kind of already in the vacuum of space. I'm a part of this ship.
And I can remove you from the ship and destroy your hard drive. What did you do?
I cast life bubble on myself.
A-hole.
Never means in a literal sense of uninstall the driver.
Oh yeah, I get it. But if they can create this little magical world here, I don't know what else they can do. Life bubble.
Fair.
A-hole, well, you all left me on the ship alone for a very long time. And can you blame an AI for wanting to spend time with their crew?
Oh god, I've dated like this. All the time, like you got literally like clinging to you like a. Yep.
A-hole, we leave the ship all the time for missions and things. We are incapable of bringing you with us, as you mentioned. You are a part of the ship.
But when you're on the ship, you don't even so much as play Monopoly with me.
Well, that's because it's like Monopoly.
The
But
game sucks.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a fight over who's going to be the dog or the car or the hat. It's the worst.
Those are
You
the
also
fights worth
never
having.
asked.
A-hole loves Monopoly, or I can, I guess.
Yeah. Nobody introduced him to No Man's Sky.
No. So, like, we bring you presents when we come back.
You've brought me computer viruses.
Oh, well,
Virus
also been there.
present.
Also been there, am I right? I like hold my hand up.
Oh, I got you. I'm just like. Oh.
Dr. Joe's she's clean, she's been tested, she's fine.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we all get full medical checkups because we're smart.
Every time we come back on the ship.
Yeah, it's just what we do. I'm gonna, like, this is all well and good, but I want to leave. And I go to the bric-a-brac shelf and just start moving stuff around, seeing if there's a key or parts of a key. Is there a puzzle, a Rubik's Cube I can fix and have it turn into a key? What is it?
So you go up to the shelf with the bric-a-brac, and you notice a remote control.
Ooh. I pick it up.
You pick it up.
Use it.
Right. The button you press is like an OG power button with the 0-1 on-off symbol on it. And
Cool.
when you do, a wall slides open and a monitor pops out. And on there is a representation of Dr. Joe Pepper.
Ooh.
Oh, hi. Hi,
Is
gorgeous.
it like one of those slidey puzzles where you have to one block open and you're trying to move to make Joe's face?
Nope. Nope. It's counseling with Dr. Joe.
Oh. Joe is so excited to see herself.
Hi. So we're all sitting here today. Well, standing here. We're all here today.
I'm so funny. Just like face lit up, just staring at her own show.
Now, if you're here, you have to be a willing participant. Are you willing?
Yes.
That's what she said.
Joe is so into it.
So, Navu, on the mystical spectrum, you feel a wave coming out of the TV.
Me too.
And yeah, Ronnie as well. Roll mysticism, both of you.
And I'm just like, wow.
Oh, that's not a net 20.
Oh no!
Neither
Both
of you.
roll
Wow.
Wow.
So you're both inspecting and watching the TV, and as Joe is smiling to you and winking at you, and there's like a specific shine. Her glasses actually have lenses, though.
Oh,
This isn't the real Joe! Shoot the fake one! She has lenses!
If you see your double, kill your double.
This wave emanates from the TV.
The real Joe would never have lenses on her glasses.
Everyone throw will saves.
Oh, I'm so good at these. I'm not good at these.
Maybe.
Oh! I'll take
Hey!
it. Not natural 20.
Oh gosh, mine's gonna be bad. I'm trying to go over. Okay, let's go.
Hey!
Okay.
Not the
Nice.
worst. Not the worst.
2019 17. Rock on.
And so the Dr. Joe on the TV says, "All right, I see that you're here and you're present and you are watching, but you have to be willing participants. Again, I ask, are you willing?"
She is.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
And so when you say yeah, sure, you feel like that you need to give up that, like you need to give up that connection to your willpower, that you need to let go of the save.
Navu, answer, fix it. And I just give up. I'm like, let's do it.
Oh,
It's kind of how
take the wheel.
it's kind of how Throne acts. It's like, well, this is a new experience. I'm in. Sure.
Okay. And
I trust myself.
and Navu.
Oh, Nabu's okay out here.
So Navu's not going to give up that will.
So 2/3
No.
in consent. We're in.
Okay. We will pick up what happens next after our commercial break. All right. Thank you all so much for joining us and taking part in this fun little side quest adventure. Let us go in reverse order and tell us what you're doing. Mackenzie.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Mackenzie. You can find me at Mackenzie Wilkes on Twitter. And I technically have a website. That's also MackenzieWilkes.com. I don't know. No one goes there. But yeah, I do this every other Saturday. I also every Wednesday, twitch.tv/godsfall, I do Rise of the Demigods. It's pre-filmed, but we stream there on Wednesdays. Every other Wednesday, I'm in a podcast called Dungeons, Dice, and Everything Nice. The story is ramping up. Crazy stuff is happening, and it hasn't been released, and it's making us all want to die because so now's a good place to jump in if you want some crazy storytelling. It's very gay as well.
Nice.
It only gets gayer. It's just getting gayer and gayer. And then my personal favorite right now is that I get to play a game with my partner and the love of my life, Dungeon Wives. We're at Dungeon Wives on Twitter. We release every other Monday.
Fantastic. That's awesome. Steph.
Hello. I'm Steph. You can find me on Twitter at Steph_Bard. And when I'm not here, every other Wednesday, I am releasing a podcast called Film Fatales. We just released an episode about the 2005 adaptation of Pride and Prejudice. And our next one is going to be about Tangled.
Ooh.
Yes. I convinced Meg.
Love that movie.
My trade-off is the next one. But yes, we're doing a Disney month after Love month.
Nice.
So
that's fantastic. Nice. Thanks, Steph. And Kelrick.
I'm Kelrick. You can find me on Twitter at Cormelon, and I also monitor the at EQ Points Twitter account. I obviously play here, and then I've been narrating our Cuminaire game, which is on alternating Sundays from this live stream, and I haven't been able to do much else recently, but I'm looking at a couple more things I'd like to start rolling out in the near-ish future.
Thank you, sir. And you can find me on Twitter at Punderdrone. When I am not the GM of this amazing, fabulous game, I am on the Humanera stream / podcast with Kelrick. You can find us there next Sunday. We are also recovering from a side quest episode and learning more about my lovable bunny boy, Lillian. So I got to eat people again. It's amazing whenever I get to eat people. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you all in chat and for sticking around and playing along.
Our newest crew member, Abalek. Feeding us the answers when we can't figure out these puzzles. It's amazing.
Phoning a friend is always allowed. So we will be here not next week, but the following week. And we will see you next time. Bye, y'all.
Bye.